before you went with this tour, was Ride the Rhythm done, or were you still working on it? Like, what was the chronology of that?
It wasn't done. But when I got back off of the tour, I knew I had to hurry up and get an album done. That's something else that I got from the Jungle Brothers. If you want somebody to take you seriously, you need an album. You can't just be putting out a 12-inch, you know? So I was like, all right, I got to finish up an album. And then we talking about song titles, because all of the songs that I had at that point, I think it was like, I had, what was it? You know, it was I'm chilling and make it, like I had a lot of 1-word or 2-word song titles. It was like, you know, be creative. So, you know, you're a creative. This is what you're doing. So you don't have to shortchange yourself. You can do whatever you want to do. So I think out of all of that, what I walked away from was that there are no rules, you know, in the game, period. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to put out a 4-bar record. I could have done
that. So then, because 45 King did the entire album Ride the Rhythm, and you didn't do it like all in a session, or when I mean a session, like a month, you did it sporadically. How were you changing as an artist, and how is he changing as a producer during the course of making Ride the Rhythm?
I don't know if I was changing too much. I think I might have been gaining a little bit of confidence as more and more people became aware of me, and more people were telling me that they like my stuff. I think I was more willing to just try different stuff, you know, open up and say, because I was really trying to stick to a rigid format of, you know, the way I was doing it and don't make no mistakes. So I guess I was, you know, by the time I got to do Quarters in Session, I had thrown all of that away, and I was like, okay, let me just try to, you know, because if you listen to Quarters in Session, it's almost 3 different records. He could have changed the beat 3 times, and it would have sounded like 3 completely different records. Some rhyme in 3 different kinds of ways. The first verse is different from the second is different from the third. So, you know, that's how that went. As far as Mark changing, nah, he just started digging deeper and deeper into his bag. He had more and more beats he was pulling out. So, yeah, we really didn't change much. We just progressed along the path.
So with Quarters Now in Session, what makes you say, or what happened to where it was 3, it could have been 3 different records or 3 different styles that you employed on it?
A lot of, one of the techniques I used to use to write rhymes was I would write to beats that were playing in my head, or like I told you, I don't know if I told you, but like if I hear a beat, any kind of a beat, I start writing a rhyme to it. And then when I did Quarters in Session, I would finish those rhymes out, like up to 16 bars. And so it's like 3 different times that I did that. So if you listen to, like each verse sounds so different. Like the cadence is different on each verse.
Absolutely.
So that's why I say, it's like if you change the beat, you would have a different song.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then with Dope Rhymes, I was always intrigued, or thought it was hilarious how you were like, how you would write your own sequel. I always thought that was hilarious. But I also thought it was cool how you had mentioned I Am the Future Shock, and then that ended up being a song. So what, the title of a song later. So was that just happenstance? Did you plan that? Like, how did that end up going?
I did plan it and I didn't plan it. I you know, throughout my career when I make records, I do what comedians call callbacks. So in this record that you hear, you know, next month, I'll say something in reference to a song that I did, you know, last year. And maybe you'll remember that. And, you know, I just like to tie everything together. I want everything to fit. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically how that went. Because I remember all of the songs I did. So while I'm writing these new rhymes, you know, I might reference one of those.
Gotcha. It makes sense. Well, I noticed, so it worked. So there you go.
There you
go. So as Ride the Rhythm comes out, and then the following year, 1990 was actually the first concert I went to, which was the Fear of a Black Planet tour with Public Enemy. Had Public Enemy, had Digital Underground, had Heavy D and the Boys, Kid and Play, and then you did spot dates, and you were the one at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. That was the first show I ever went to, and I remember seeing you. So, and that's 18,000 plus people compared to the 500-600 in the Europe tour. So how did the experience of touring with Public Enemy and on that bill for Fear of a Black Planet tour, how did that change or evolve, or what did how did you have to adjust or do things differently on that tour based on compared to your other shows?
I think initially I didn't do anything differently. I came out and I did my set the same way I had done it for those smaller venues. But what I came to realize is these bigger venues, it's a little more technical, and like, Heavy D, he had lights and different props with his show. PE, they had the S1Ws. They had, a little light program that they would run, certain records, lights would do this. And then, what I mean? All of this different stuff that they would do, choreography they would do. I didn't have any of that. I had my dancers, but other than that, I didn't really bring any extra, stuff. So I realized that, when these bigger venues, these bigger shows, you gotta step it up a little bit. You gotta Michael Jackson that shit. You need to pop up out of the TV screen, and all of that kind of shit. It make a show out of it. So that's what I came away from that with.
Okay, gotcha. And then how long after the Fear of a Black Planet tour did you end up having issues with Wild Pitch?
It was going on during the Fear of the Black Planet tour.
Okay.
Going on during that. I had gone to the office maybe a day or two before I started with that tour to curse them out. It just was really not happy with them already. So, but I got to do these shows, and that's what was going on.
And then what happened after the tour and getting off there, not putting out music for a while? What was going on with you personally and professionally?
After the tour, I came back, we got a lawyer, we tried to sit down with Stu Fine and be reasonable with this dude, and Rob is not going to record no more on your label, give us a release, and what do you need for a release, and blah, blah, blah. And Stu Fine wanted to play hardball. He didn't want to release me from the contract. He wanted a new record. I was like, that's never going to happen. All right, you're scum. Why would I record? I'm not giving you nothing. So, I guess it took him a while to see that I meant what I said. I'm not giving you no new music. Fucking let me go. I think Stu Fine was concerned that it was Wild Pitch that had gave Joe Rob G the platform, and he felt like I was being ungrateful, even though he wasn't paying me. You know what I mean? So, it was, I don't know what was going on. I really never talked about it like that with him. But yeah, man, it took a minute for them to finally, give me the release that I needed. And and I got people in my ear like, yo, Rob, man, we could run up in there. We could, nah, I don't want to go to jail, dude. I just want to make music. I want to get rid of this guy. He's like a tick that I can't pull off. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where it was, man.
And then what happened the next couple of years?
Geez, it's really, what were we talking about? Oh, all right. So then I'm free from Wild Pitch. During that period, though, I had some stuff going on in my personal life that kind of just took my mind away from music because my brother, he had AIDS, and my cousin had it. So these are two people, and these were the two closest people to me in my family. Like my cousin, her name was Natalie. She was somebody who really used to soup me up to rhyme. And I used to let her listen to all of my stuff. She used to introduce me to her friends, tell, yeah, my cousin gonna be a big star, like that. She used to gas me up all the time. So when she came down to it, and I'm watching her waste away, I watched it happen to my brother. My friend across the street from me died. It was just a lot of death, a lot of ugliness going on around me. What I might've, shoulda, woulda, coulda, made songs about it, but I didn't do that. It just. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to come out. I didn't feel like celebrating because for me, music was kind of like a celebration. And, I couldn't do it, man. So I backed away, and I don't know, a year or two became 4 or 5 years later, you know what I mean? Before I really started recording stuff again.
And do you remember what was the impetus for you to finally do it, to finally get back to it?
I think I was scribbling stuff down gradually, more and more. Then I got like a whole verse, and then I got maybe a song together. Just gradually fell back into it. Old habits just picked back up, and then
Okay.
next thing I know, I'm writing songs again. So
Well, there it is. Well, I'm glad that you made it back.
yeah, yeah.
And then a few years ago, you had the No Running Project, and I remember there was the R.A. the Rugged Man collaboration, and I also noticed on Empires Crumble, you had mentioned him too as a inspiration or something. So how did your relationship with R.A. the Rugged Man happen and then develop, and what's going on with that?
I mean, R.A.'s a good dude, man. It was on definitely Facebook or some random Facebook post, and he said something to me. I said something back like, "Yo, what's up? What's good?" Blah blah blah. And then at first I didn't realize that he was the dude, but then he was like, "Yeah, somehow he let me know that he was that R.A. the Rugged Man." And I had seen his video a few years before that. A friend of mine from Brooklyn had showed me his video of him on a song called "The Renaissance" with Hellraiser. He calls himself Heaven Raiser now, but he was on this song with a few other rappers. It's a posse cut, and he murdered that joint. R.A. killed it, and I was impressed by that. You know what I'm saying? So here it is, a couple years later, and then this is the same dude on Facebook. I'm like, oh snap! So it just happened to be that I was working on an EP at that point. I was working on an EP with these dudes, the Bankrupt Europeans. And I had a song that I had only done one verse on. And I was, thinking I need to do another verse. Because I was just going to do 16 bars, trying to do like a paid in full. But they was like, nah, Rob, you need another, you put another verse on it. So I was like, all right. Then I was talking to R.A. on Facebook, and I told him, look, man, I'm working on some new music. Maybe I'll send you the beat and see if you like it. And he said, all right. So bang, bang. Took about a week. He sent it back to me. It was crazy. I put one more verse to make it a whole 3 verses, and that was the song. That's how it happened. And, over the years since then, he's just been a cool dude, man. Went up to the studio with him once or twice working on his other stuff. You know what I mean? Good dude. That's all.
Yeah, I've known R.A. a long time. So when I was seeing and hearing that, I thought that was awesome several years ago. Okay. So you got Empires Crumble that's out now. Everybody should get it. It's available on all platforms and everything. What else do you have coming up that people should be checking for?
Well, I want to focus on this right now. This is what we're dealing with. Let's get Empires Crumble and make sure that, people understand nothing lasts forever. So y'all get out there and copy your copy, because it's kind of banging. And I do have some things planned for the future. I'll probably get back with the Bankrupt Europeans. I want to get back with C-Doc, do a couple more joints. Somebody asked me if I was going to stay in the music business now or what. And I mean, I'd love to. So let's see how it works out.
All right. Well, there it is. Well, Chill Rob G, thanks for coming through to Unique Access, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Soren.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence, thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.